This meditation is about connecting with what matters most to you in your heart of hearts. In acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, this is called your values. Your values are overarching principles of living or life directions. The goals that you set are hopefully based in your values, but your values are much bigger than your goals. The task of living your values is never fully complete. So you may have examples like being there for your child or acting with honesty and integrity. Each new day brings more opportunities to be there for your child and more opportunities to act with integrity. When we are in touch with our values, not just our plans or goals, we can be flexible and creative. We can find ways to live our values even when life doesn't go according to plan. Living our values means living with purpose. Find yourself a quiet spot for this meditation and let yourself get comfortable. This meditation involves visualization, so you will probably want to shut your eyes. You might like to have a pen and paper handy to write down any insights. Ready? Let's begin. As you shut your eyes, you find yourself standing in front of a wooden gate within a high wooden fence. You gently push the gate open and it creaks as it swings. You step inside onto a path within a beautiful and overgrown garden. Pause for a moment and take in your surroundings. Noticing the trees and the plants, hearing the birdsong. Step slowly and carefully down the path as it curves through the garden, knowing that the path leads to your heart. As you come to the end of the path, you find yourself looking at a small dwelling. This dwelling is your heart. Your heart contains all that matters most to you, the people you love, the activities that bring you joy, your principles, your dreams. It contains all that gives your life meaning and purpose. If your heart was a dwelling, what would it look like? Don't force the visualization. Let it come. There is no right or wrong. There is just what you find. Step towards the door of your heart, slowly and carefully, noticing the scene. In a moment, you are going to open the door and explore your heart. Your heart doesn't have to look the same each time you visit. In fact, it could change and shift during a visit. It contains all that matters to you, but different features may present themselves depending on what you've come here to learn today and what you'd like to ask of it. We are going to explore your heart today, step by step. When you are ready, put your hand on the knob and slowly open the door. You open the door and step inside, finding yourself in the first room of your heart, the room of joy. The room of joy is furnished with your own happiness. But this room is not about escaping from sorrow or disappointment. It is not a trophy room representing your achievements. It is also not a room for indulgence. Rather, this room is devoted to those moments where you experience joy, even in the midst of stress or sorrow. Those activities that you enjoy purely for their own sake. Those quiet moments of simple contentment. Look around slowly and carefully. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? You might like to walk around the room, exploring it. You might like to pick something up, to examine it more closely, or explore it with your hands. If there is a person in this room, you might like to talk to them. Take your time in exploring. What does this room tell you about what brings you joy? You might like to pause to write your insights down. When you are ready to leave the room of joy, you notice another door. You step up to this door and open it, stepping through into the room of purpose. The room of purpose is devoted to your principles, the ethics by which you aim to live, and the promises and commitments you wish to uphold. But this room is not a room of obligations. It is not a prison cell. It is not devoted to rules. Rather, this room is devoted to the principles and commitments that you have chosen for yourself. We all wish to make our mark on the world, and this room contains a legacy that you wish to leave. It is devoted to the principles that you have in your deepest heart, when you don't need to answer to anyone else and you are not ashamed of being who you are. Look around slowly and carefully. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Again, explore the room fully, taking time to explore the contents of the room as closely as you would like. If there is a person in this room, you might like to interact with them. What does this room tell you about your purpose? You might like to pause to write your insights down. When you are ready to leave the room of purpose, you notice another door. You step up to this door and open it, stepping through into the room of connection. The room of connection is devoted to connecting with others, but But it is not just about the easy falling in love moments or the times when other people fulfill your needs and expectations. Rather, it is devoted to moments when you give love freely to those you care for. When you are there for others, even when that's difficult for you. Moments when you listened, when you understood, when you laughed together. Look around slowly and carefully. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Take your time in exploring the room fully, noticing any feelings in your body, exploring anything you like with your sense of touch. If there is a person in this room, feel free to talk to them if you wish. Or you might like to look at something more closely, to do something with what you find. What does this room tell you about how you connect with others? You might like to pause to write your insights down. When you are ready to leave the room of connection, you notice another door. You step up to this door and open it, stepping through into the room of self-care. The room of self-care is devoted to your relationship with yourself. But this room is not about how you have actually treated yourself over the years. Instead, this room is about the kind of relationship that you'd like to have with yourself. This room is dedicated to the ways you'd like to nourish your own body, heart, and mind if you felt you had permission to make that a priority. This room is a room of self-knowledge, spiritual growth, and physical health. Look around slowly and carefully. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Take your time in exploring this room fully. What does this room tell you about the kind of relationship you'd like to have with yourself? What does this room tell you about what truly nourishes you? You might like to pause to write your insights down. You have now explored every room inside your heart. If you'd like, you can make changes to anything you find here. After all, this is your heart. If you want to make a change, do so now. When you are ready to leave, then retrace your steps through each room and out the front door. You might like to look back at your heart one last time, remembering that all of this is here, right here inside you, always. Follow the curving path back through the overgrown garden to the wooden gate. As you open the wooden gate and shut it behind you, you can open your eyes, stretch and reposition. Allow yourself a moment to digest all that you've learnt. Try to craft your insights into clear statements of your values. To do this, it might help to try completing the following sentences. I experience joy when I'm. I want to be remembered for being. I want to connect with others in a way that's. I want to treat myself in a way that's. Now, how can you live these values more fully in your life? To access further meditations or to read my blog, please go to my website. You might also be interested in checking out my book, Becoming Mum.